Welcome to the Temple of She podcast, a virtual overflow of our ceremonial spaces. This is a sacred and slightly wild space where we gather to nourish and share all things sisterhood, womanhood, and beyond, guided by magic, curiosity, and laughter. Our personal medicine, the healing power of the voice, deep listening, and truth spoken from the heart. Your hosts, Grace Lightlooper and Beth Cycle Witch, are here to hold the waters, stir the cauldron, and keep this ceremony moving through sound and story. So take a breath, soften into the flow, and welcome to our temple.
3, 2, 1, action.
Grace, can I share something with you?
Of course.
You made me cacao and it really hurt. I burnt my tongue on it and I'm really upset about that.
I hear you. I'm here for you.
NC.
End scene. And action. Beth,
Yes,
you
darling.
made me cacao and I burnt my tongue on it and you made it for me and it really hurts.
Babe, this sounds like a you problem.
End scene.
End scene. Well done. Well done. Very proud of you.
Oh gosh, that was out of my comfort zone.
Hello, everybody.
Hi everyone.
Hello, Temple of She listeners.
And here is that very cacao.
Yes.
Maybe we
Ching,
burnt
ching.
ourselves, maybe we didn't.
You'll never know.
But for the sake of art, we thought we'd create a little,
Yes.
some little scenes and some little scenarios.
Scenarios.
Scenarios. Yeah, I guess that kind of comes from the same word. doesn't it?
Yeah. Basically, we have decided to talk this week on the theme of truly being heard and truly listening with presence.
Yes.
And so our little scene just demonstrated some of the ways where we can hold somebody's emotions and not make them ours, but also another scenario where it can be possibly a little unhelpful.
Yeah, maybe we wouldn't deliver it in that way.
Oh, absolutely not.
This feels like a you problem. But it's more the energy of that, I guess, because that is a healthy energy if you're absolutely certain in something that has been put upon you that you are certain that you have not done. It's hard to find the words because we're not actually explaining a scenario. Yeah, if I genuinely made the cacao with love, if it wasn't that hot, if I'd given it to you with absolute love, and then you came to me, you made this cacao with me, I burnt my tongue and it really hurts, and then that other person's like, oh wait, I've lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, that's it. Like, you know that you've not done something deliberately to hurt that person. You absolutely know that, and you're not. There's only so far compassion alone can get you. Mm-hmm. That's what I've definitely learned recently. Like, compassion alone with no boundaries is gonna fuck you up. Mm-hmm. It is gonna deplete your energy. It's gonna flatten you. Mm-hmm. But when you know that all you did was give that cacao with love, and that person's still throwing that back in your face, it's okay to say, this is not mine, this is yours. Mm-hmm. This is your emotion. Mm-hmm. This is your feeling to process, and I'm here to hear that and help you to resolve that.
to see that.
Yeah, to see that.
Similarly, though, we can also do what was in scenario 1, which is to just listen consciously and energetically not take that on as something that needs to be fixed. And we can just reaffirm, just like, I can see this hurt you situation. And, you know, we're always feeling through what's right in the right moment with the right person. So much of this makes me think about my daughter,
Oh, yeah.
who will often mornings are always very difficult trying to get her to school, and she will absolutely not want to play ball. She doesn't want to eat her breakfast. She just wants to chill. And I'm like, you've got 10 minutes and then it's time to get dressed, and I'm really calm and all this. And then like an hour later, we're late. I'm trying to get her out the door. I'm like, come on, Ez, put your shoes on. I turn around to put my shoes on, and then she's playing with her lip balm. And I'm like, ugh. And it's only like once we're outside and I'm like, Esme, just get on your bike. We've got to go. And she's like, you're being really mean to me. This really hurts. And I'm like, can you see why I might be feeling a bit stressed? She's like, it was only just now. I was like, no, it's been building up all morning.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to sit with that within myself as a mother, because I always feel guilty anytime I upset her, whether it's,
Don't we all?
like, whether it's actually me or whether it's just her basically doing it to herself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's many different situations where we are called to really hear somebody's discomfort and pain and learn the practice of just listening and validating.
Yeah. And I think the trickiest thing is doing that through being triggered yourself. I think that is the absolute, like, that is fucking boss level space holding, is when someone triggers you with something they are saying or doing. Perhaps it's like towards you or at you. I'd like to use better language around that, but I can't think of it right now. So let's just say they said something to you that felt unjustified. And when that triggers you in that moment, it is so hard to just be present for the other person to process that. And I think for me, the biggest teacher has actually been my partner, because we're in an incredibly unique relationship, I'd say, where our souls are operating at a very, very, very similar frequency. So we are very intense mirrors of each other. So whatever he says to me, whatever he triggers me in, it is always, always, always something that I am currently suppressing within myself. And it's great because he's my biggest teacher and I love him to bits. I love him so dearly. Like, we have such a beautiful relationship. So it's like there's always that underlying love between us, which almost like holds the other processes. So he's taught me those moments to when he's going through something and he might say something to me that triggers me and makes me feel uncomfortable. Sometimes there's almost this little like dial in my head of like, right, who is more triggered? Who is the furthest away from love? Because to be triggered to me is to be like moving further away from love. So I'm like, who is the furthest away from love right now and who is closer to love? And sometimes I'm like, right, I feel, even though I'm triggered, I feel like I'm closer to love than he is right now. So I'm able to use that as my anchor to like just hear him out. And just like, even if he needs to still like project something onto me in that moment, I'm just like there, like holding on while there's like a tornado going on, just like, come on, you could do this. And then I'm able to then have my process around it. But I think sometimes it's impossible, you know? Sometimes someone will throw something at you and you just, it's so triggering. It's so mirroring for something inside you. Even if someone is telling you you're a piece of shit, like someone can say that to you. Someone that doesn't know you can walk past and be like, you're a piece of shit. And you'll be like, well, I don't know you, so it couldn't possibly trigger me. But someone who knows me that would say that, that would fucking hurt so much. That would hurt so deeply and that would be so triggering. And so I think I would find it very difficult to like be present with that. I think I'd go straight into reaction and just like sometimes I think we have to. Because we can't always be like this space holder, which is something that I've learned in the last few weeks. I can't always be that absolute presence for others, even when I feel like they're chucking stuff at me. Sometimes I have to allow myself to react.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I'm very familiar with this process. There was a time when I was dealing with a situation with somebody who would either message me or sit me down and talk to me, and some of the things that were being told, like I was being told that I was doing, and or the ways I was being were really painful to hear, really fucking painful to hear. And I learned to just disconnect and just sit with it, and just allow them to do it. And that would be incredibly difficult, so difficult, because it hurts. And up until the point where there had then at some later point opened up a space where I could then share how that made me feel, and they would then go, I'm so sorry, I've just projected loads of stuff at you. The turmoil in that period of time is really difficult. And I'm very much of the opinion that we should never completely disregard absolutely everything that somebody says.
Definitely.
There's always an opportunity to learn about yourself and go deeper underneath, why does that hurt? What, and if somebody says, I felt like you were really cruel to me in that moment, then that's valid for them. That is completely valid for them, even if anything I did in that moment came from absolute love and was not meant in that way. And this is the thing, we're talking about in the future holding a space at a festival where we're going to allow some slots to be open for people to come to us and really express what they're feeling.
Spoiler alert, everyone.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And, this is quite similar to what we do in ceremony as well. And we're just allowing people to just really, really feel and express their emotions. And I have absolutely no worries or fears around that. This person could imagine that I am the situation or the person that has hurt them and throw anything at me, and I would feel absolutely untouchable because it's not to do with me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm literally just there to listen and say, yes, you're allowed to feel this. But it is so different when it's interpersonal.
It is. Oh my gosh. Because it's like as soon as you get to know someone, they just become such a deep mirror.
Yeah.
Like such a deep mirror than someone you don't know.
So what do we hope for when we feel in conflict with somebody? We won't go into situations because often situations are what they are, and there's not a lot we can do around that.
Of course.
But if we're in conflict with a person and we want to work through that with them, I know in my head what I've experienced and what I've researched is a good formula for repair.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But what Grace, would you want for a repair situation?
It's such a juicy question.
Because, hang on, let me just do my one favourite line I just want to share quickly, because good relationships are not conflict-free. They are repair-rich.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. That's so cool.
So when we know how to repair, we can have really good relationships.
That's really beautiful. Thank you. You said something like, you were like, in my experience and in my research, and I was like, oh, that's your human design. I can't help it. I can't help it. It's just those two things.
She's an addict.
I am. I bloody love it.
No, I don't blame you.
And then mine is like, as soon as you ask me the question, everything in me goes to like my emotional body and my energetic body and those feelings. And just ask me the clear question once again so I can...
So what would you want to experience in a repair situation with somebody who you've had conflict with?
Gotcha. So my thoughts are around the kind of feelings of when someone is triggering me and bringing up some discomfort in me. I've noticed a thought pattern lately has been like, oh, I wish that they could just meet me where I'm at with my emotions. I wish that they could just realise that they've got a problem with X, Y, Z and they've blamed me for it. And this has been something that has been arising for me for years, actually. That phrase, it's like it just repeats itself. And every time it comes up, I'm like, I'm manifesting that. I'm attracting that. Like, where in my energy, where in my program, in my story, am I attracting a situation from another human that is triggering me, but they aren't wanting to meet me where I am emotionally. So I'm often find myself in a situation where I just want to be with that person and I just want to feel my way through it with them. I just want them to tell me how they're feeling. I just want them to open up. I want them to open up their heart. But my experience in my mind is like, they're so closed off. They're not opening up to me. They're not telling me what's really going on. And I'm like, but that's me. I'm creating that scenario. Otherwise, it would not be happening through multiple different people in my life. So I'm very aware that is something I'm creating. But it also feels like this weird catch-22 that I find myself in. So in answer to your question, what would I want is I would want for, and funnily enough, I put out a prayer the other day, like I was feeling so deeply, I was like praying for this, that we as humans can just communicate way more from our hearts, from our feeling, from our pain, from our discomfort, from our authentic dysregulation, not the dysregulation that pushes away, but the dysregulation that has to work its way out of our systems to then regulate itself again. I crave and I desire for that communication, deep communication from the heart, from the body. Like, what is the body saying in these situations? But I'm also aware that might not always happen. So that's what I want. But I'm very curious to hear what you've looked into and what you feel around that.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for asking.
So usually when we go into a repair after conflict in relational disputes, we want to create a space that is safe for the two or more individuals to be heard. And the way that we do that is we facilitate a space where the right person is hearing. So like often we can talk things through loads with like our friends and be like, oh, and it doesn't feel like it shifts, right? If our problem is with our partner, talking to our friends about it is only going to do so much. You need to be heard by the person you're having the conflict with,
right,
in an ideal situation.
Right.
So we want to facilitate a space for deep sharing and deep listening. And what we ideally want to facilitate is a situation where it's very, very clear boundaries around, as a listener, your only job is to listen consciously. Don't try and make excuses. Don't try and comfort the other person. Don't jump in. Don't defend. Just listen. And then we have some contemplation time. Sometimes we'd need to step away for a little while, just so that that can sink in and we can move through that initial defense mechanism which wants to come up. Not everybody's capable of moving through that immediately.
Yeah.
And then we want to come together again, and we want to create a space for the listener to become the sharer and the talker, and for the other person to be the listener. And that can be quite difficult, because often the person who initiates the need to share in what they've been made to feel, they've not thought about the fact that maybe they need to also listen to the other person and understand their point of view, or how their sharing has made that person feel. And it's about that kind of conscious listening and conscious sharing, because, you know, you want, like you said, you want to share from your heart. What are the deeper feelings going on here?
Yeah.
Not you did this and I don't like it. It's like the deeper level under that. I feel abandoned. I feel scared. Are often the really big signifiers, and it's really important to remember emotions are really nothing more than signals.
Yeah. Little clues.
Clues to go, should we look at this? Should we look at that? And then at the end of that process, in an ideal world, we'll then have a time where we can kind of forward think. You know, if it arises that there's specific situations which can be very triggering, then we put an action plan in place. You know, we create agreements. We say, when you do this, I find it very, very difficult, and I don't want to tell you not to do that, but I also don't want to repeatedly be re-triggered. What can we do to work together?
Yeah.
And then we create language that works. You know, often when partners argue, or people argue in general, they'll be like, stop doing that, and the other person will be like, I'm winding them up, I can poke it some more.
I know what works. Yeah.
But when we go into these like repair situations, we want to be able to say, okay, well, if I say this, it's because I really need you to listen to me and just adjust something slightly. And that's how we work through stuff. That's a most ideal repair situation. But it always comes back to deep feeling sharing. So with the person who needs to listen, so that you can feel heard and seen, and not just throwing the surface level stuff, really going into it, and the other person sitting and listening. And, you know, we talk so much about language in these situations. Ideally, we don't, you know, we can do this without language. Me and you have been through processes where we kind of, you know, move with sound. That's not accessible for everybody. And so it's really important that we stick to I feel instead of you statements, but also keeping that kind of like reassurance of hearing, like at the beginning when you said, that must have really hurt when I told you that I'd burnt my tongue. It's that kind of like, I understand. It's a way of saying I understand and reaffirming that they're not alone in that. So yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I just realised my cacao cup was like tipping over like that as you were talking, and it was so close to spilling out.
That wouldn't be good.
No. That I love that you've just articulated it yet again. Like, you've articulated what I was feeling around that so beautifully, of that communication from the heart, and sitting and hearing each other and allowing each. Because what I normally find is the person who is let's say the most triggered and who's instigated the issue, for want of a better word, is normally the person that A, finds it the hardest to speak, but B, also finds it the hardest to listen, which I find really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you said is really, you've just so beautifully just articulated it and put it into like a little instruction manual. of like how I was kind of trying to describe my ideal situation. One thing though that you mentioned, which is about, you know, our communication, and when we say, I feel hurt by something you said, something that I've struggled with in the past is a couple of years ago, someone in my life they would have a manipulative way, the way they would move through the world, and they have a kind of basic understanding of psychology, as you do. Like, you have quite a deep understanding of it, and their energy would say, you made me feel this, but their words would go, well, you made me feel like I'm blah, blah, blah. And they would still use the correct language.
But it's still not the right language.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, so this is where it gets very difficult for me. I find it very triggering. And of course, I mean, many quote unquote victims, I can't remember if that's still the word they use, of narcissistic abuse, will understand this. They will, pretty much all victims of narcissistic abuse will understand this, where the other person uses the right words, but their energy is fully like, you did this wrong. And I think that is where just the language alone can be tricky, because you need something else in place when those moments arise, because their energy is still very dominating. So yeah, I don't have a solution to that other than, you know, what can you do other than keep coming back to yourself and giving yourself compassion? And because as horrendous and horrific as domestic abuse is, it's always a reflection of something that's within you. And it's, you know, like I will reiterate, it's horrendous, it's horrific, it's unjustified, it's awful. However, every single thing we are here to experience is everything we're experiencing is mirroring something that's happening internally. So it's, where am I letting that in? And keep coming back to the self, and which is difficult.
It's so difficult. It's
really difficult.
Especially if you're dealing with a narcissistic abuser who really knows their way around how to flip how you think.
They all do, Beth. Like, everyone who is in that situation is highly, highly intelligent because of their own traumas. They have learned how to control and manipulate the psyche. And they're so good at it.
Yes.
So intelligent at it. And it's one hell of a ride, isn't it, being on the other side of that, and thankfully coming out of the other side of that. And yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So what's the answer to all of this?
So I suppose, to wrap it up, the answer to this is very circumstantial.
It is, yeah.
We've gone through our ideal processes for listening and being heard in conflict. But I think, you know, it's important to remember back to, we're not talking in this podcast about conflict repair. We're talking about listening and being heard,
right,
and speaking. So to bring it back to that, this can be actioned even not in conflict.
Yeah, that's so true. Which we do so often, don't we?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, these things don't happen in conflict. These things are actually what builds up healthy relationships as well. Your friend is really excited by something, and it might not be your thing, but they're so excited about it. And how do we want to greet that? To create a safe, healthy relationship, we want to listen to them.
Yeah.
We want to go, wow, you seem so excited about this. We're creating a bond of safety. If you came to me and you said, babe, I'm really excited about this thing. And I kind of went, well, I'm not. Why are you interested in that? Ugh. How would that make you feel?
I'd probably never want to share anything with you ever again.
Exactly. And this is the point, when we create a space to listen consciously, even if it's not our thing and we're not feeling the same way. If we can create the space to listen, we can create a space of safety.
Yeah.
And, you know, that can happen in so many different ways and spaces. And it's really important for building strong, beautiful, loving, healthy, resilient relationships.
And trust.
Trust. Yeah. One of my favourite phrases is, don't yuck other people's yums.
Oh, I mentioned that to Connor the other day. He was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah. If somebody loves something and
that.
they're excited, you don't have to love it too, but you can take joy in the fact that somebody you care about is in a place of joy.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing another human happy is like a fucking win, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah. Where are you, dear listener, creating...
Or watcher, as we're now figuring out.
Yeah.
Like 99.9% of you are watching this as opposed to listening, so...
Maybe I should actually look at the camera more.
Yeah. Next podcast, let's turn.
Oh, my God, let's just look at the camera. That would be... Oh, God, that's really intense for me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's do this. Let's do this.
So, we did Grace's most uncomfortable thing at the beginning of this episode, and we're about to do the most uncomfortable thing for me on the other.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, so before we go, where are you? You don't need to tell us about this, but we would love to invite you to check in on yourself. Where are you creating space to consciously listen? And where are you creating space where you are safely heard?
Yes. Yeah.
And if there's any ripples in that don't feel right, then it's your job to look at what you want and what you need and ask for that.
Nicely said. Thank you.
Bye! Bye!
I see the goddess in you. I see the goddess in you. I see the goddess in you.